Hey friends, welcome to Living the KG Life, a pixie dust-filled podcast. On today's episode, we are going to do a recap of the second round of Mouse Madness 2022 and a preview at next week, which is going to be the Sweet 16. We've already made it to the Sweet 16. This is going to be so exciting. So let's jump right in. There's a couple things that we wanted to talk about this week, starting with the closest matchup of the week. Now, this was Princess and the Frog versus Wreck-It Ralph. This came down to 2 votes. 2 votes. Absolutely wild. It was neck and neck the entire time. I mean, Instagram, the poll couldn't even decide between the two. It still listed it as 50-50. And when you dug in, it was 107 to 105. So truly a 2-vote spread. Wild. So shout out to Tiana and Naveen. Great job there. We will see you in the Sweet 16. Now, the largest victory of the week on the opposite end was The Lion King versus Pocahontas. There was a 191 vote spread. So The Lion King just came in and dominated and took it home. Props to The Lion King. Now, the surprise win of the week, and maybe at this point it shouldn't be a surprise, but Mary Poppins once again crushing everyone in its sights. They beat Remember the Titans. This one was a little bit closer. It was a 32 vote spread, but still, who knew Mary Poppins was going to be like the 16th seed to make it all the way to the Sweet 16? Very, very curious to see how far Mary Poppins makes it. Now, if the last round and really a couple rounds have taught us anything, voting is so important. Again, take a look at Princess and the Frog versus Wreck-It Ralph. 2 votes. So coming into this next round of the Sweet 16, there are only heavy hitters left. So every vote is going to matter. You want to make sure that you're sharing it on your stories, sharing it with your friends and family. Because again, nobody's out at this point. Everything is by points and all the point values change per round. So very important. Make sure you vote, make sure you share and get people to vote. So let's take a look at what's coming up in the Sweet 16. Like I said, there's basically all heavy hitters left. So these matchups are, I think, going to be very close all the way to the end. So I want to talk about a matchup in each division and kind of see what you guys are thinking here. In the classics, the top 4 seeds have all made it through so far. They're just like steamrolling their way through and really making a push to get all the way to the end. The one that I think is going to be the closest is going to be The Little Mermaid versus Aladdin. Now, Little Mermaid, 1989, Aladdin, 1992. Again, like our generation is going to be really into this one. And I think it's going to be a hot debate. Could be close to like the Frozen Encanto type of conversation in the matchup. So let us know in the comments what you think is going to happen in that matchup, Aladdin versus The Little Mermaid. The live action has been, I think, probably one of the most wild divisions to watch. It has definitely had the most upsets. And we have both the number 12 seed and the number 16 seed making it into the Sweet 16. They've taken out some pretty big contenders. So that's going to be a really good one to keep another close eye on. And then another matchup that I'm curious to see what happens is Hocus Pocus versus Pirates of the Caribbean. 2 really strong competitors here. And also a fairly close age gap again. So we've got 1993 for Hocus Pocus and 2003 for Pirates of the Caribbean. So they both have kind of like these cult followings and people that are really passionate about these 2 movies. So I think that's going to be another one that's going to be very, very close. So now let's jump to the Pixar division. This is another one that has been pretty exciting to watch. Toy Story has, across the board, done really, really well so far. But I think the matchup that's going to be the most interesting to watch this time around is going to be Toy Story 2 versus Monsters, Inc. Another really close age gap between these movies. Toy Story 2 is from 99. Monsters, Inc. is from 2001. And again, these both have stories and characters that have really expanded from their first movie. So Toy Story now has 4 feature-length films, plus a ton of shorts, a ton of additional stories that have been told through their characters. Same thing, Monsters, Inc. is starting to pick up speed here too. We've got Monsters, Inc., we've got Monsters University, now we've got Monsters at Work at Disney+. So there's really a lot happening with all these stories, which means the characters are really beloved. So That's going to be a good matchup there as well. Now, one of the matchups that I have been the most excited to see happen, now I don't want to say that I was secretly hoping that it happened, but I was like secretly hoping that it happened, is Frozen versus Frozen 2. All these characters everybody loves, right? Anna, Elsa, Kristoff, Sven, Olaf, everyone loves the whole gang. And they mostly have been through both films and really heavy involved in both films. So this is going to be a really interesting matchup. Are you OG Frozen or are you Frozen 2? Now, the music is incredible, the story is incredible, and it's a little bit different than the rest of the kind of princess films that we see from Disney. So I think this is going to be another really great matchup. So this is another one. I want you to let us know in the comments, which one do you think is going to take this round? Frozen 1, the OG, or Frozen 2? Now again, I'm going to wrap this up by saying we cannot express, put value, make it as known as possible that voting is so incredibly important. And now from the Sweet 16 on to the rest, this is critical time to vote, because as we saw in the last round, some of these have been really, really close. And again, it's really heavy hitters from here. So now, if we've learned anything from this last round and the previous rounds as well, but really that last one, voting is so incredibly important. So make sure you are voting, you're sharing, and just getting excited. That has been, I think, the most fun part of this whole tournament so far these past few weeks, is seeing how excited you all are to vote for these movies, how you've gotten your kids and your parents and your grandparents, everybody involved to build your brackets and vote. It's made it just so much more fun to watch and participate in as well. So if you have any questions, always let us know, but keep an eye out on Instagram. Make sure you're following us at Living the KG Life. That's where all the voting is going to happen. That's where you'll also see some reels and some posts on who the winners are, how they're moving forward, and what to keep an eye out for. Make sure you're also subscribed to the podcast, Living the KG Life, on any of the major streaming platforms. So stick around. It's going to be great.